Well, if you've gone to the grocery store lately, you know that food prices are on the rise. Joining us now with this week's Bottom Line is Neil Melancon. And Neil, I know a lot of times food prices are kind of exclusive of what's going on in the commodity markets. One of the biggest price increases right now I think consumers are finding is at the beef counter, but beef seems to be going up in relation to what's happening in the markets. What's going on?
Well, Mike, it really comes down to the longevity of each product. Simply put, grains can be stored for much longer than beef products, and while some of these beef products can be stored on the hoof, if you will, the supply of beef affects markets much more directly than grains, and what we've been seeing here lately is fairly disturbing for consumer prices, at least for the long run. In its latest cattle on feed report, the USDA pegged cattle inventory at 11.5 million head, up more than 5% from last year. So in the short term, that means more cattle for slaughter and thus more beef with lower prices. Good news, right? Not so fast. The cattle are getting lighter. Placements for cattle under 600 pounds and in the 600 to 700 pound category were up 17.5% and 6.5% respectively, but placements for those over 700 pounds were down 2.5% from last year. So there's more cattle going to slaughter, but the cattle are getting lighter, and that's because when prices went up last year, ranchers brought their cattle to market in droves. Now, when we should be rebuilding the herd to get supply back up, prices are going even higher as demand has not yet leveled off, which means even more cattle are going to slaughter as ranchers are trying to make hay while the sun shines. The bottom line here is, though, that pretty soon we're going to be in short supply and ranchers are going to run out of cattle to sell. This means that while you might have cheap hamburgers for Memorial Day this year, by next year we could be looking at some serious shortfalls in supply. I know you're a big fan of Chick-fil-A, Mike, and their slogan of "Eat more chicken" may become a necessity for most Americans as the cost for beef is headed higher.
Well, I like a good steak, but I had Chick-fil-A for lunch today. Neil Melancon, thanks. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Radio Network for a list of stations or a list of stations where you can tune in online. Click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and look for the link called LFB Radio Network on the left side of the home page. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Join us again next week when we'll bring you comprehensive coverage of the Port of Greater Baton Rouge Port Commission's decision on who will operate the grain elevator along the Mississippi River over in Port Allen and what it will mean to you. Until then, you can watch any of our stories online over at our website, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.